Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Not a Sidekick Productions. Previously on, this is the week 10 22 21, October 22nd, 2021. I am your host, Lemus, and as always, with me is my co host, Digital Dachi.
Yep,
How's it going over there in Spooksville?
I'm living. I'm living.
Good, good. So,
Stretching it out.
sometimes what you gotta do. Been a good week?
I'm on vacation, so yes. Very good
That's
week.
always a good thing, yeah. So tonight we'll go breeze through some of our normal stuff, and then obviously we're gearing up for Spooky Town, spooky Halloween. We're
If you
right in the
can't
thick of it.
tell, they should be able to tell with the backdrop.
That's fair. And I'm wearing, you can't tell here, but I'm wearing my Mothman shirt. You can see a little bit of Mothy Man there.
I got
Uh,
Ghostface on, even though it's hard to tell because the way the cameras have to be angled and whatnot, because
yeah,
you're on
yeah.
top of my computer monitor.
Whoa. Fair enough. So, on the doing side of things, spoiler alert, we are tomorrow will be Ivy's third week, or she will be 3 weeks old. Um, she's been around for 3 weeks, be starting her fourth week. So pretty much my doing has been baby stuff. It's an adventure. It's a thrill. Every day's something new. Every day's new. When we thought we had the routine, thought like the first week we got back us here, which was like her second week when we were home and stuff, we thought we had it figured out, thought it was going pretty good. It actually went pretty good. And then this week, I don't know. She's been fussy. Like I said, she's not like bad. Like I said, there's still moments for the most part where it's good. She'll go for stretches where she's good, and then stretches where you feed her, change her, do everything, and then she's still just a little bit cranky. But that's baby life and parenting life, so they tell me. So we're learning. Um, but other than that, it's been good. I mean, like I said, with a baby, being parents, especially new parents, even when it's bad, it's still pretty good because it's a baby. So, but that's pretty much been us on the doing side. Other than that, been working a little bit. Um, and that's about it. Like we work, take care of the baby, and then we'll watch some shows and play some games around here. And that's pretty much the extent of that. What have you been doing? Anything interesting?
Uh, Went and watched Michael Myers movie.
Yes, we watched that as well this week. My nose could quit itching, be great. Um,
Really good.
oh,
It was a great movie.
it
Can't
was really good.
can't complain about too much in it. Some of it
Right,
they're just setting up for the final movie, which I guess is what the next one's gonna be until somebody decides to reboot it.
right. Yeah, my only like little irritation with it is like a horror movie thing. It's like, horror movie decisions are infamously bad and stuff. It's like if you've seen the commercial, I think it's a Geico commercial or whatever, but the one where it's spoofing horror movies and they're like, "Should we go upstairs? Should we go down?" And the girl goes, "Why don't we get in the running car?" And they're like, "No, no, let's hide behind that pile of rusty saw blades." And even the serial killers were like, "What are they doing?" Like, but that was my only issue with
You ever
Halloween
wonder?
Kills.
You ever wonder if a serial killer sitting there with a knife and just like he watches him make these dumb decisions and it's like, is it even worth it?
Right? Yeah,
Like,
he's
could
just
I
like,
not find somebody
man,
else to torment that isn't this stupid?
right? Where's the challenge? Like, that was my only problem with Halloween Kills, which again, it's not really a problem because the movie is still good. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, so that tells you that. But it's just my biggest issue, which I've told Dachi and my wife and my peers and stuff here, is they have this problem where the one person, I don't want to give too much away, but basically, without spoiling anything, people that should know how to use guns and firearms don't know how to use firearms with a lick of sense. And it ends up getting them maimed or killed. And that's not really spoilers because it's the horror movie. People can get maimed and killed. But the people that get
The
maimed or
amount
killed,
of people that got killed in this though is
it's
I
insane.
want to know how. Like, I know there's a guy that does like body counts on YouTube. I want to check that guy out and be like, How
it the
many?
Dead Meat podcast? I think.
No, it
I
ain't
know
a.
that.
It ain't a podcast.
Well, he has like his own YouTube. I know. Well, I
Slasher or
mean, it may be
something, I
two different
think.
guys,
I
but
don't know,
yeah,
but
there's
he
one guy that
does.
we watch that does kill counts, but we may be two different people, or
It
maybe
may be,
multiple.
but all I know is there was a lot of dead bodies in this one.
Yeah, there was a big pile
I'm
up,
gonna
but
call it now and be like 30-something bodies at least.
my problem is
Maybe more.
some of the dead bodies in there should not have been dead bodies if they would have just made smarter decisions. Like it was just them being idiots. And that's what bugs me, but at the same time, it's a horror movie and it's a slasher movie, so you got to suspend that. But other than that, it was a really good movie. I did enjoy it. Yeah, we
I'm
watched
just
it.
saying, in the start of the movie, and this is gonna be the only spoiler bit, so I'm gonna give it a second. If you want to stop and skip ahead, just about 5 minutes, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, start of this movie.
Yes.
Michael friggin' Myers comes walking out of a burning house. You see him with a fireman's like tool. I don't know what that thing even is. It's like what they used to jimmy open car doors and God
it's
knows
like a
what
weird
else.
crowbar. It's like an advanced crowbar type thing.
You see him do that, pick it up like it's an axe, and just sit there and tap it in his hand a few times. And he comes walking towards you, and your first idea is, let's spray him with the fire hose.
Right.
Get in the truck and get the out. Like, let's.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You just
so many of
watched
these
Satan walk out of a house. Is what you've done.
Right. Well, even at that, like, I'm sorry. After the first, like, he slaughters a lot of them firefighters. There was like 7 or 8 of them guys
They're
out
all
there.
dead. Like they're
Well,
all
that's what I'm
gone.
saying. After the first 2 or 3 of them went down, I'd be like, sorry guys, I'm headed back to the station to pet a Dalmatian and eat some chili, okay? And try to cope with the fact that I witnessed this. I'll send flowers to your loved ones, okay? I'm getting in that truck and I'm taking off. Like I said, even if you don't immediately take off, once you see the first 3 or 4 of your people go down, because he was going in an order. It wasn't like he was like killing them all like multiple at once. He was
just like
taking
any
his
other
time.
movie where one person fights every single one of them. They go in one at a time.
One at a time. Yeah.
Like one, you shouldn't. I don't know the movie thing. It's like you said,
right?
And it's not that it's a problem because it was a great. Like I still have
thought
about that movie. I've
fun.
been thinking about it ever since I've seen it because it's. I don't really talk about it, but I love like the whole Michael Myers franchise.
Yeah,
that whole thing is amazing to me. But
even the bad ones.
There is moments where it's like, really? Okay, then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
because he's more brutal in this movie than he's been in any other one.
And that's what me and my wife was talking about.
He kills one person. He not only does he break their leg, stabs them in the guts a few times, slams his head through a banister.
Yeah.
Shakes him around 3 or 4 times in said banister, obviously damaging his neck very badly. Then walks down the steps, and you know this guy's going to die, and then just snaps his neck and shoves it back into his body.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty out there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He was, like, angry in this one. That's what we say. We don't know what about it.
And the thing is, the fact that like just this Michael Myers was completely different. It was like he was more unhinged than usual because the way he even walked was like, if you get in my way, you're done.
You're dead.
And he killed a kid in this one. Never ever has he killed a kid that I know of.
He killed a kid in the 2018 one. He did kill a kid in the 2018 one.
I didn't watch that one, unfortunately. I know that's the one that leads up before this one, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but in that one he did kill a kid, but he also in the 2018 one he did spare a baby, which is interesting, right? Because like he kills a kid pretty early on, and it's spoilers for the 2018
one. You remember
like
why?
Years on.
Did the kid get in the way, or was it like a teenager, or?
Oh, it was like a young kid. Spoilers again. Skip a little further ahead if you've not seen the 2018 one. But what are you doing here?
It's 2020.
Yes, 3 years later. So, the whole thing is at the beginning he's being transported from the prison that he's at to a different prison. Michael is. He's on a prison bus. Well, this kid and his dad are like they went out hunting or fishing or something, and they're like coming on this back road, and the kid's like, "Dad, I don't." He's like, "You gonna go hunt with me next week?" And he's like, "I don't know, Dad. I got dance practice next week, and I really want to go after my dance practice. Like, but they're like real like country, you know. But he's like, I want to do my dance practice, Dad. I'm really passionate about it. And then they're like, what's going on? And they see the prison bus just overturned, and like all these like prisoners walking about out there. And the dad's like, stay in here, do not get out, just stay in here. And he goes, I'll go look around. And the dad goes to look around, and the kid's in there, and he's like, calling. I think he calls 911 or calls the cops or something. And he's like, something's going on out here. And then I can't remember. I'll ask our producer. Does the kid get out of the vehicle after that to go look for his dad? Right. And then he stumbles upon, I think Michael's there. And then it kind of cuts away. But then later, when the cops do show up, they do find the kid's body laying there. So, like, you don't know exactly what happens, but it implies because Michael's standing in front of him, and then next time you see him, he's a corpse. But with the baby could be up in the air because Michael walks and stands over the baby when it's crying, and then he just walks away. But a few seconds later, like cops show up around that area. So I don't know if maybe he just knew the cops was on their way and he didn't want to get caught, or if he actually, for some reason, spares babies. I don't know. That's to be determined. Like he'll kill kids, but he won't kill babies. And I don't think he killed the dog in the first one either, did he? Did he spare the dog? There was
No,
a
he
dog
killed
in
the
the first.
dog. He killed the dog.
Oh yeah.
Because that's even
Right.
it's even in the new movie where they do the flashback to the 1980s or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, there's a dead dog in here.
Right, I
And that's
forgot.
the
Yeah, because
dog
the
from
babysitter in the original. Yeah,
yeah.
he did. So he's not afraid to kill dogs or kids, but he spared a baby. So there's some kind of weird thing there, right? So who knows? But again, he may have just spared the baby because the cops were on their way. Maybe he's just like, well, I ain't got time for this.
Or maybe it could be like a kind of like how Tommy Doyle says he's an apex predator. He's looking for prey. He
Right,
wants prey that's going to satisfy him. If he kills something that can't fight back, he's going to get nothing out of it.
but he's killing kids and dogs. Like they can't really fight. I mean, some dogs maybe, but
a dog could definitely fight back. But I mean, not against Michael freaking Myers.
not a little dance kid. I mean, sure he went hunting with his
but I
pappy,
mean,
but
that dance kid, the minute you pick him up and start strangling him, he's gonna struggle.
Flailing, fighting back. That's fair.
That's one reason that animals continue attacking things sometimes. To them, it's sport.
Yeah.
And it's just a behavioral thing. It's not like, I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, other than Halloween Kills, have you watched anything this week?
I'm watching Once Upon a Time, which is a neat little show.
Yeah, we are on season 4. I think we got to, and we've not watched it in ages, but we binged it pretty well all the way up to season 4. So I think they have 6 or 7 seasons. I don't know.
7, I believe. I've
Good
been
show so
watching
far.
I've been watching a few scenes from Star Trek.
Nice. Any particular season or movie or series?
Just the Next Generation. Just watching Picard pretty much lay verbal smackdown on people. Because what
That's
else is he
always
gonna
a good
do?
time. Right.
There's nobody else that does it better. Fight me in the comments. I don't care.
I agree. I support it.
I'll bring my phaser and I'll just vaporize you.
Set it to stun. Yeah, vaporize. Do the what's the Vulcan death grip?
Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah, that. I'm new here.
Yeah. Welcome aboard.
Not bad. So a little bit Star Trek, a little bit Once Upon a Time, a little bit Halloween Kills. You got a good mixture this week, a good variety.
And I don't watch the show Titans, but I've been keeping up with it. And it's third season definitely their best season.
Well, I'm about to start their third season, so I'll report back then. But we like I said, we literally have watched the season 2 finale like a couple weeks ago. I think it was actually right before we went into the hospital for the baby and stuff. So we've just been waiting till things kind of simmer down around here to start season 3. So hopefully we'll be starting season 3 soon. I'm anxious. I'm kind of excited about it. Nervous but excited. Cautiously optimistic. I think the biggest thing. So the most recent thing we watched, because again we're trying to gear up for spooky season. We did watch Scream 3. Sorry, and we watched Scream 3, which is one that to me and my wife we both find kind of underrated. A lot of people that we know don't like Scream 3 or they overlook it, but for us personally, it's like not not our favorite by no means. I don't know if I mean obviously outside of the first one, I don't know if I could 2, 3, and 4 if I could arrange them in an order. I could if you made me, but
I'm
it'd
putting a
probably be
gun to your
one,
head
3,
right
2,
now.
4.
Do it.
1, 3, 2, 4. Honestly, would be my order.
Yeah, I've
And
never
again,
seen 4. But I can agree 1, 3, 2. Definitely.
nice. See, I respect that. Again, 3 is underrated, but we have a lot of strong opinions about why 3 it deserves more
See,
love.
1 set the bar.
Right.
And they did it in such a clever way. It doesn't matter how you try to follow it up, it's always just going to be a follow up. There's no way to
Right.
surpass the idea that number 1 set.
Right.
It was just almost too good. It was ahead of its time.
The reason that I love 3 so much, and I think it's underrated and stuff, and me and my wife again have talked about this, is the whole. And this is spoilers for Scream 3, but if you've not watched the Scream movies, then you definitely got to catch up.
You're back in the
Scream
2000s.
Scream 3 dealt with Roman. Did he have a first or last name? Now I think it was just Roman.
For some reason,
Is how-
Pierce comes to mind, but I think that might be from Fast and Furious. I don't know.
Maybe. I know there is a Roman in Fast and Furious, but either way, it basically essentially what you come to find out, spoiler alert, twist ending. He in the start of the movie, he's directing Stab 3, the new Stab movie, based on Sydney and all of them, and you got all these actors playing versions of them, and he's directing his own horror movie, Stab 3. You come to find out that it's all a ruse to get Sydney back there because he is her brother, but like I don't want to say stepbrother, maybe half brother.
Yeah,
Thank you,
half.
producers. He is her half brother because her mom, back when she was an actor and went by a different name, stage name and stuff, had him. But then when she moved on past that life and stuff, and he showed up at her door after she was Sydney's mom, and
Prescott.
Maureen Prescott, and showed up, and she's like, "Sorry, this is my life now. You're part of my old life." Basically, threw Roman to the wind. So he concocted everything. You find out that Roman actually was behind Billy and Stu in the first movie. Like, and that's what I love about it, right? Is like 3, like you said, number 1 sets the bar, right? For everything. But then you find out that in the third one, that there was even a further puppet master pulling the strings for even Billy. He's the one that took the video of Sydney's mom with Billy's dad and then showed it to Billy and Stu to get them, and even gave them pointers and showed them the ropes kind of on what they needed to do.
I wonder why Stu was roped in. Was he just because of he was Billy Loomis's best friend?
Yeah.
Or,
literally.
Or did Stu literally like have a reason?
No, Stu didn't really have a reason. He was just.
My personal opinion, what do you think? Like your personal opinion, not like
personal
movie.
opinion. Man, again, I still got to think that it. I think that Stu, part of it to him is it was just that dumb high school kind of thing, right? That dumb like, what's the thing like that? Not necessarily peer pressure, but like just that
Peer participation.
mentality. Yeah, right. Well, right. So like it comes to that whole thing when we were kids. Always, it's like, well, so and so's doing it, and it's like, oh, well, so and so jumped off a bridge, would you? And it's like, well, so it's that kind of thing where I don't think Billy was like, hey, help me kill people, because Stu went along with it pretty willingly until he got stabbed himself and got the phone threw at him, and his parents were being called. All the stuff that he
breaks. Mom and Dad are gonna be so mad at me.
Right.
You like hit me with the phone, dick.
You dick, yeah. And then the whole I'm feeling a little woozy here. He goes, I think it's coming too deep. Like
God, it's so funny though. Like watching 2 serial killers just devolve into like
into madness.
idiots. Like, it's
Well, yeah,
great.
because whenever he's
I
like
think
sitting there
I'm
checking it,
dying here.
yeah, he's sitting there checking it, and Billy's like, "Where's Sydney?" He goes, "I don't know." Like he just loses her. She just walks off. Like while he's on the phone, he's like, "What the heck?" Like it's just so ridiculous. Like I said, the first one is just iconic. It's absolute gold. It's my favorite horror movie and favorite horror movie franchise, hands down. But yeah, I love that 3. You find out that Roman masterminded all this. Like he puppeted all of it, basically. Um, and to me, I respect a good mastermind character villain. I respect a smart villain. Like the whole thing is like obviously Billy and Stu were the original, but like I said, they were kind of slapstick with some of the stuff, and you could tell like Billy was acting out of emotion because he was doing it, which for revenge and stuff for his dad and stuff. Stu was doing it because he wanted a something. He thought it was something fun to do with his buddy.
And it was his moment of fame because he was as crazy
Oh,
about horror movies
right.
as Randy was.
Right, because then he even does say, and let's face it, Sydney, these days you gotta have a sequel. And, it's all about the sequel, baby. Um, so yeah, so I forgot. Yeah, that was probably a big part of it too. He's looking to make a cash grab.
So
Uh,
I gotta ask though, because it's a popular thought: is
yeah,
Stu alive, or did
it's a good,
TV electrocute him?
it's a good thought. I mean, like, because
It
that's the
is a
whole
fan
rumor,
theory. Everybody thinks this new movie's gonna have Stu as the bad guy. But
right?
I'm just saying now, if I see Stu pop up on that screen, I'm like, why Shaggy up there? Like, what's going
Right.
on?
At this point, he's been playing that role for so long. Here's the thing. I do think it's possible that he survived. I'm not
You would
so
think
much
he'd be
sold.
incarcerated though if he did survive.
Well, right. Well, that's my whole thing. See, I've heard multiple different rumors about it, and one of the ones that I cling to more, and I've even said this if you've seen the new trailer and stuff, and this is what I said. I think it's possible he survived, but I don't think he's the new Ghostface. I do think he will be connected somehow and that he may show up in it, but I don't know for sure that he will be the actual Ghostface in this one because one of the popular theories was that Stu did survive and he did go to prison. He's basically lifelong incarceration stuff, but that he met a guy and kind of took a guy under his wing as a protege in prison, and that dude is supposed to get out and then be the new Ghostface. And that part I could almost see, maybe, or understand. Or even like at one point, I told my wife that I theorized maybe he had like either a son or a nephew or something that we didn't know about, like that is trying to get revenge. Because in the new trailer, whenever you see Ghostface and he sees Sydney, it all goes back to and it shows Stu's house, his house from the first movie. It's Stu's house, or it was his house. So it would be odd for them going back there for any other reason, even though obviously it's where it all went down. But like, makes it interesting. But then also, whenever he says hello, Sydney, and then he says it's an honor. So that part of it makes me feel like, okay, well, this isn't like
Well, they've
somebody that
always toyed with the idea that there's a copycat for everybody, right? Like even Jack the Ripper
right,
had copycats. Are they as good as the
right.
original? No, not usually. Can they surpass them? Yeah. Oh yeah, you could be onto something there.
Which is one thing it's going to be hard to talk about, and we'll talk about this more at a later date because I do want to get you to watch the fourth one. We have all 4 of them here, and I would like to watch the fourth one with you and get you to watch it. One thing we talked about doing is doing our own little bit of a stabathon reference to the movie and binge watching all 4 of them before the new one comes out. So when we do that, we'll be able to do a full breakdown discussion on each one. And that way you'll be able to go in after seeing 4 and understand a little bit more from that one. But yeah, I like the Stu theory. Like I said, I don't know that he would be in any position to become actual Ghostface. I'm with it if he does because I like his character. If I'll try to find a way of throwing up on Instagram or something some of my pictures from Halloween last year. Last year's Halloween, me and my wife actually dressed up as Billy and Stu, and I was Stu for our Halloween costumes, and we also had a Ghostface costume that we both took turns changing in and out of during the night. So like at the start of the night, we were just Billy and Stu, and then like after one of our Halloween movies, one of us would sneak off and change it into the Ghostface costume, And then during the other movies, the other one would switch out the costume kind of as a play on the movies kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun, and obviously have a lot of respect for the character.
I wish I
Other
had
than
the imagination and joy that you give to holidays. I just like I live them. It's like whatever.
well,
I do love Halloween though. Like it's my favorite holiday, but I don't know. I don't know
hopefully,
whatever happened to the joy I had to like dress up and stuff. I'm just like, I
well,
enjoy the holiday, but
I'll try to help you find it. We was going to do a Halloween marathon this year. Sadly, with the baby stuff and just finances, we're going to postpone it. But we're still going to try to do some other movie marathons, and we're definitely going to try to do a Halloween party and marathon next year for sure. We're going to try to go all out, especially with having the baby and stuff. It'd be even more fun to do all that. Other than that, we watched Coraline, which is a really good spooky kind of kids movie, but it's kind of dark and spooky in some ways. But it's a really fun movie. On TV shows, we've been watching a new show on Hulu called Only Murders in This Building. It's got Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez, and it's like a murder mystery
for
comedy
some
thing.
reason, I don't know why, but Steve Martin to me was not who I thought it was in my head till I thought about it. I was thinking of the guy that he played in Airplanes as the old man. It was just
Oh,
retarded.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, for some
Yeah,
reason that's who I thought it was when you said that name. I was like,
I get that.
that's
Steve
not him.
Martin, most infamous from our era, anyways. Like he's kind of a more old school actor, but we know him from Pink Panther, the recent one where he does the hamburger. I would like to buy a hamburger. But he was in a movie called The Jerk, which is one of my favorite movies he's ever done. Um, oh God, I'm thinking about The Jerk now. It's one of my favorite movies he's ever done. The movie is ridiculous, but it's hilarious. He was also in, I believe, The Three Amigos with Chevy Chase and Martin Short. He was in, what is the one? Is it
Oh, that's
Cheaper by
why
the
I got
Dozen?
him separate. I got him confused with the other guy because he is an older gentleman.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was Cheaper by the Dozen is the movie that he's in. Um, and then there was another movie. What was that movie we watched not too long ago with him in it? I don't remember, but it was kind of like grown ups and daddy daycare.
Cheaper by the Dozen, Father of the
Yep,
Bride,
I haven't seen that one.
Roxanne, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Bringing Down the House, Little Shorts of Horrors, or Little Shop of Horrors, rather.
Little
Excuse me.
Shop of Horrors. Yes, that's a great movie, by the way. It's an incredible movie, and he plays so ridiculous in
Wait,
that
he
movie.
plays
But
in
I love it.
Home?
I've not seen Home.
Really funny. It's got the guy that plays Sheldon from Big Bang
Hmm.
Theory as the voice of the little alien. And
Okay.
all it is it's literally like that little alien is like Sheldon would be. Because he talks in like weird mannerisms. He's like, but I do not wish to be locked inside the closet instead of being like locked inside or whatever, you know. I do not wish to
Yeah.
be taking part in this or what.
Get that real intelligent way, like of
Yeah.
sentence structures. Yeah. Okay, I have to check it out. It sounds
They're,
really good.
the aliens are called the Move.
Just boo.
The Move. Just funny.
Nice.
It's a really good movie. I liked it.
Nice. I'll have to check into that one. That's a good one. Everybody look at. Um, I also watched DC Fandom. I'll do a full breakdown. I actually took a bunch of notes, and I'll do a full breakdown of all of that.
So
Um,
you can break
yes.
down that on your own, but what about this Flash crap? Like, let's talk it.
Yeah. The tease, the Michael
Yeah.
Keaton tease.
Well, the fact that there's two different versions of the Flash in it,
Yes.
both Ezra
Yeah, yeah.
Miller's Flash, which is fine because I'm starting to come around to the idea that you can have it separate, especially
Yeah.
since they're gonna have it crossed over into the TV show. I swear they have to at this point
Yeah.
because of the way the multiverse stuff is working in the show. But
Setting up. Yeah.
you've got one that looks like he's been doing it a while, and then the other one is just like, "Hey, I'm here," and then Supergirl's there with him.
Right. The new Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all that with Michael Keaton talking over the background, and then
They are in the Batcave, by the way.
yes.
But that looks like the Batcave from Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Christian Bale just drop on by. I doubt it because I mean he might, but right now I know he's working on Thor, the next Thor movie. Christian Bale's going to be in. He's going to be, I think, the bad guy. But still, you never know. He may still drop by, bring Marvel Thunder with him over there to the DC. But either way, I'm excited to get Keaton back as Batman. You could tell it's the Michael Keaton Batman too, because he's infamous for the neck piece, and like when he walks out, even in the Flash trailer, you're just like, and it looks so. And I'm just thinking, like, man, if I was Michael Keaton, I'd be ticked because I'd be like, look, guys, I understand I did this back in the day. We didn't have modern stuff, but he's like, I've literally seen like 10 Batman since me had necks that moved.
Yeah,
Y'all
but
can do
think
me
about it.
better.
He's the first one to have the full cowl that went down like Batman, like actual comic book style.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I doubt he wants to turn that away.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I have a lot of mad respect for it. Yeah, it is iconic, and that's why I'm excited.
Because Batman, when he walks, he doesn't really. At least Michael Keaton's Batman, when he walked, he didn't really walk like, shoulders going forward anyway. He kind of did that, walking like, hey, I'm about to screw you up if you get in my way.
Right. That's the whole point of the mist and shadows and all the spooky. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I am excited for it.
But I mean, the way he starts coming into frame too, it's not like he had really much of a chance to see if he could even like turn his head or not. So.
That's fair. It just based on looks. But you're right about that. But yeah, it's not bad. So we are going to dive into a bit of a horror discussion, a little bit of Halloween discussions I wanted to get to tonight for our roundabout for the main meat of the podcast. So we've already done a little bit of this, talking about obviously Halloween and Scream and getting into this. So what would you say? I've already said with our Scream discussion, Scream is my favorite horror movie, favorite scary movie. What's your favorite scary movie?
Halloween.
Halloween?
The Halloween franchise is my favorite. Of the big three. And I know people are going to throw other people like Leatherface and Hellraiser and Jeepers Creepers, all them. Well, Jeepers Creepers is when it freaks me out. Like, he worries me.
Creepy movie, yeah.
Which we didn't throw him on our list, and you were just making yourself die out.
Oh. Sorry,
anyway,
my neck was itching.
Anyway, you've got Jason, Freddy, and Michael. Them are the big three. Big three. Michael's my boy. 100%. And then it goes Jason and Freddy. Because I just did not ever, not saying Freddy's bad, but he is not my pick. They were not the movies that freaked me out. They were more comical to me. Because he would murder them like, guess what you've been doing, and pull them into a freaking bed. I mean, think about it for a minute. The way he kills them in the dreams physically could not happen in the living world. The cuts, yes. Like pulling them into a bed and then they erupt in an eruption of blood.
Like fountain of lava or blood, yeah.
That's a bit much. The throwing them around a room, that could, I get down with that. That's okay. But what was another ridiculous way Freddy's ever killed somebody?
There's a lot.
The
one. I know one. The one where he rips the dude's veins out and uses him as a puppet marionette.
Yeah, that one's a little.
That's a good one.
That's a creepy one.
It's creepy. See, out of the big three, like I said, Ghostface. Well, I wouldn't even say Ghostface my favorite killer. My favorite movie franchise and horror movie franchise is Scream. But as far as in my favorite killer, especially out of the big three, I'm the opposite. Freddy's my favorite, but that's because I like that he's kind of the sassy, kind of comical, like that he puts a bit of flair and a little bit of drama, the whole thing, in his kills. I'm a theater kid. I dig it. And then mine would probably be Michael and then Jason, which I've not seen as many of the Jason movies.
So I can handle Friday the 13th, 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4.
Yeah.
And the Jason X, because that's a great movie, but.
See, I've seen
the like Jason Goes to Manhattan or whatever, which may be in one of those 4. I don't remember the order in which they go, but where he starts going to the city, that gets more weird to me.
See, I've seen all of the Nightmares and all of the Halloweens. But out of the Friday the 13th, I've only seen 1, 2, and 3, Freddy versus Jason, and then the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th. And that's all of those that I've seen.
Yeah,
So I'm still
there's
missing a bunch of them, but
looks like there's 12 movies in total.
and then
I
I've only
did
seen
think at the end
5.
of Jason Goes to Hell, whenever Freddy reaches up and pulls that mask down, just to show that, hey, we're in the same area. Like, we live in the same universe.
Yeah.
Which, thinking back, it wasn't a big deal then.
Right.
Because Godzilla was doing it, but nobody really looked at Godzilla. All these monsters lived in that same little universe, right? Like,
No.
Godzilla always showed up to fight Ghidorah, or Gamera, Rodan, made Rodan his friend. King Kong. They all lived in this thing, and nobody really thought about it. But when it came to the serial killers, you were like, okay, Jason owns this version, and they're all scared of Jason. Freddy has all these people that are afraid of him, but it's a whole different thing. But whenever Jason had his mask ripped down by Freddy, you were like, oh, wait a minute. You tell me they live in the same world?
Right.
Because nobody, like, that's the first, like, what would it be? Not multiverse type thing, because it's not a multiverse. It's the first, like,
maybe a shared universe.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Or cinematic universe, I guess you could say. Well, because like you said, you had with the Godzilla ones did it, right? And another one that a lot of people forget is the Universal monsters. The Universal classics had crossovers because they had Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and then they had like Son of Dracula and Son of Frankenstein and stuff. Like they had some crossovers back in their day. That kind of crossed over with the Universal monsters. But again, outside of that, and even all of those and all the Godzilla ones were so far back. And like you said, with serial killer stuff or slashers, you had no idea something like that happening.
Because that also means that wherever an Elm Street is, there's a Michael Myers just wandering around somewhere.
Right. There's a Haddonfield, Camp Crystal Lake, which brings me to my next question. So we've seen Freddy versus Jason. We've seen Alien versus Predator. We've seen Kong versus Godzilla. We've seen the versus matches up in some of these suspense, horror, thriller, monster movies. So here's the one everybody wants to see, and here's the one I want to know your honest opinion. Michael versus Jason. Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. The two that make the most sense to fight, that people have clamored for, and we've not got to see. Who you think's taking home that trophy?
Oh, that's so hard to say. Because at this point,
very similar.
At this point, Michael Myers, there's something with him, because the only long-lasting damages I've ever noticed on Michael Myers, and I said this the other day, and you hadn't noticed it, and I don't know if your wife had noticed it or not. This new movie, the new set of movies, follows on right after he gets shot off the balcony. So Halloween 2 doesn't exist in this new timeline. I've been doing some research.
Right.
So Halloween 1 goes straight into Halloween whatever.
2018, yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Halloween Kills.
Right.
The only lasting damages I've seen, he's missing 2 fingers on his left hand.
Yep.
From, I guess, his niece cutting them off in the last movie.
Yes.
And when Laurie shoved that clothes hanger through his eye socket, his left eye is blind.
Right.
So, them are the only damages I've ever seen. Now, Jason, on the other hand, he's had his arm cut off. He's been decapitated. Well, I don't know if he's been decapitated. He's been blown up. I know he's been blown up.
Yeah.
Leg been cut off, and it just, all of a sudden, he's back full.
Right. I mean, look at his fight with Freddy. I mean, that thing was a friggin' slobber knocker.
So, I don't know, because they're obviously Jason's supernatural. They even say that he comes from hell because of all that, and he uses portals to go through the world. That's like a thing most people don't know. I mean, I guess they do now, but when we were growing up, he was here, and then all of a sudden, he's over here.
But Michael's also the
But Michael Michael has a disorder.
Yeah.
Cannot remember the disorder, but it basically puts him in a stupor if he stands
Yeah.
still. That's why he kind of moves the way he does, but he doesn't run because he's sloth-like, but he's not.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing that I read. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. That doesn't really matter in this scenario.
Yeah.
I would think that if Jason could cut Michael's head off, that would be about the only way to end the fight.
Right. And I think, I mean,
But
here's the thing too.
cutting Jason's head off, I don't think that stops anything.
I don't either. And here's my thing too. And that's the thing. Like I said, I will agree. I like Michael Myers more. I like the Halloween movies more. But I do think I would give the win to Jason because it's just like you said. All he's really got to do is get that little bit of a reach on him, and I think he has it because
He uses a
look at the
machete
weapons
instead
he
of
uses
a.
machete. But even when he's not using machete, he's used like pitchforks, and
He's folded people up in lawn chairs.
he's picked people up in a sleeping bag and beat them against a tree. Like it just feels like
played the
Friday
pretty much
13th game?
the Dead by Daylight Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, I did
which
too. It's
is
good.
way
We had
better
it
than
for a
Dead
while.
by Daylight, and I don't care who wants to fight me on that one.
It's good. I like it.
I'm not a Dead by Daylight player. I wish I was. It's a cool game. It's a good concept. I like that they've added Jason
I love Dead by
and
Daylight.
Screen like Ghostface and all that, and there've been all these
Freddy,
crossovers. I enjoy those, but at the same time, it's like the Friday the 13th. There was like 38 ways to kill those camp counselors.
Right. And like that's where I'll agree. I will agree that I found Friday the 13th more enjoyable from like a survivability standpoint and a killer standpoint, and just kind of it was kind of a little bit scarier like in a way. But I'm like you. The things I like about Dead by Daylight is the vast roster of characters and survivors, and the vast like level you can play in the different areas. But as far as in like the mechanics of how you win and lose, how you play a killer and play a survivor, I did like better in Friday the 13th. So if they could ever combine those two, it would be great. Yeah, I think I would give it to Jason,
I
even
don't
though I
want to
do
give
like
it to
Michael.
Jason because Michael's been shot, he's stabbed, he's
Right.
been
Burnt.
shot again, he's been on fire, he's literally been in a house that was on fire. Which the way he showed up in that movie was so like that shutter comes up and it's just like
It's
you
on.
are about to have a bad day.
It is on, yeah.
And like it was awesome. Like
I
the
loved
second
it.
I seen that shutter come up, I'd be like, this guy can't even form a sentence, but he knows to stand behind that metal door so he doesn't burn.
Right.
His survivability is unreal. He has superhuman
True.
endurance. And
True.
that's been stated. The only thing that seems to really mess with Michael is not having his mask.
Yeah.
Because whenever Laurie's getting choked, he pushes his mask up and he lets go. Whenever on this new one, they have him
Her
down.
daughter
They
gets
have
his
him-
mask on the
Yeah, she takes his mask off and he just like that's the only thing he's fixated on. He could have killed the daughter right there.
right.
But he's just like, oh,
He falls her out into the street, and then that's when he starts getting attacked with the baseball bats and stuff. So like, yeah, so like that's fair. Like I said, but that's just it. That's what I'm saying though. Like you said though, there's not a lot that's going to kill Jason either. Honestly, it would be almost a stalemate unless Jason could take off his head or get the mask off, which I feel like
because
with it
according
being such a
I
stalemate,
looked
it
up
would stand.
because in one of the original drafts of what Michael Myers is, his body was attributed to this cult of Thorn or a cult of the Thorns or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's one movie verse that's been retconned, like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, it exists, but it doesn't. Like the mainline story isn't that. That he's not supernaturally taken by this demon. He is pure human still. But
Right.
somehow he survives all this stuff.
Maybe we'll get an explanation a little bit in Halloween Ends, next movie to come out.
Which may
But
be
yeah.
the final movie. Who knows?
So, it'd be
But
interesting.
if I had to pick, I'm gonna say somehow Michael's gonna come out because he never
Okay.
seems to lose. He just
Just
doesn't.
that survivability resource. Okay, I get that. I respect it. Um, it's a respectful, split decision here at the Not a Sidekick Productions,
What does
but
our producer think?
our producer is incapacitated at the moment.
Ah, chloroform. I see. Wise choice of
No.
toxins.
Yeah. Um,
Wise tonic there, sir.
so next thing I want to talk about was some Halloween costumes or even Halloween memories from your past. What's some like fond childhood or just you talked about it earlier, right? You talked about that joy of dressing up and of getting excited. So, and you
Well,
talked about you've been missing it, but you did have it. You had to have it to miss it. So,
I did.
tell us about some of those.
Uh, when I was growing up, like I still am to this day. I'm a more serious person because I've always been the oldest. I've had to do all these things, as you know, and some of the people that's watched this knows. I helped take care of my sister and brother. I didn't do it all on my own. But I helped, like, I would bust coal up because we lived in an old rinky-dink house that had a coal stove, or I'd bust firewood.
Yeah.
I'd work on stuff that was well beyond what I should be working on, like big, giant kerosene furnaces that you put the kerosene furnace in the ground, then you build the house around it. It was so big. So I did a lot of like having to grow up early, so I attribute that to it, but I'm actually incredibly shy.
Okay.
This has helped me not be that way, plus my job where I work. It's helped me not be so shy. Like if I go out somewhere, I can't just be different. It's weird. It's like I can't shut off the seriousness, which is sad.
But I get it. I mean, it's one of those life things. Yeah.
It's been instilled in me, and it's since so long ago. And I think, I don't know. I guess maybe with my parents being gone, I don't want to do something that would make them look like they raised an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I dressed up quite a bit. We went trick or treating every year. We used to go to Ohio to do it. We would go to my grandparents' house, and my uncle, who has since passed too, because my life is tragic and dismal, and send lots of help. I don't know, mentally screwed here. I digress. He would always go like 2 or 3 days before Halloween, and he'd have like this whole route planned. There was so much candy because they lived in the actual city, like
right in there,
a big city. I would have to take 2 pillowcases to get all the candy. Like we were so full of candy on Halloween.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Nice. I mean, that's what you got to be doing, though. That's the good stuff there.
And he did that every year. I remember dressing up like Batman one time. Who would have figured? A zombie, vampire, a ninja. My first ever Halloween costume I can remember. We stayed down here in Kentucky. I'd have had to been 4 or 5 because we was living in the first house we lived in down here, which I don't remember much. But I wore a blue Power Ranger costume. I remember going as that. But I mean, I think, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I think it was as the years grew on and I started maturing, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything that could embarrass me, I tried to avoid.
Right.
I don't know why. I guess maybe it's because we were, me and you, and but you could guess this probably, but we were always picked on a lot in school.
Yeah.
We were always the two that, like, if we didn't have each other's backs, we didn't have nothing because everybody else was like, look at those weirdos, because we was always playing cards or
talking
nerdy
anime
stuff, and like that's not where we grew up. We grew up cornfield. Well, I guess cornfields back in the day. Cornfields, tobacco fields, hunting, fishing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like to fish. Never really hunted. I like those things. But I've always been kind of a nerd because my mom grew up. She she played D&D and stuff like that. So, and she had like a bunch of the old school Ninja Turtle comics, which I wish I still had. I don't know whatever happened to them, but I'd love to find them. But I grew up doing all that, and then, you know, we'd get off the bus and we'd just watch TV before we go outside and play for the day. And I grew up watching Power Rangers, Reboot, Rurouni Kenshin, DBZ, Yu Hakusho, Digimon, Pokemon. Yeah. Grew up watching all this stuff that would eventually become known as the nerd culture,
right?
And all that stuff. And
we'd stay up hours at a time playing Sonic Adventure Battle 2 with briefcases and folders, trying to get the perfect Chow made,
which we had done, which I wish we could still get, but there was just a lot of stuff that we did growing up that people around here was like, y'all are weird, and then we get picked on for it.
Right.
And back then, I wouldn't really stand up for myself because I just didn't care.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went into not a real catatonic state when people started picking on me. I just would act like they didn't exist and just do what I wanted and not care. Maybe that's got a little bit of something to do with it.
Yeah, you never know. I wanted to point out.
That went way out there.
No, but it's good. It's good, right? I mean, this is where these discussions, you know. But I did want to point out I did want to go back to one factor. So, for like my Halloween costumes, I do remember I dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi for 1 year. I remember that. I remember obviously, which I have pictures. This was later on. This was after I graduated high school. So like mine went from from doing like trick or treating and trunk or treats and stuff to doing like little hangouts. Like when we was in high school and post high school, we did little hangouts at the house where we would have like snacks and we would play video games. Ironically, we had like I said, pictures we was looking at earlier. When I dressed up as Captain America, I had a Captain America costume.
Yeah, I remember.
And we had like Rock Band, and we had chips, and we played Call of Duty and Halo all night. Like, and now
I remember. Speaking of doing that,
yeah,
we had 3 TVs in your living room when you guys lived in London. I remember we had my TV up on the bar. Me and you was playing. Your dad had the big TV. And then Jared was sitting behind us at the kitchen table, but we turned him around so he couldn't cheat. Because we knew he would be looking at our screens.
Screen looking, back in the day, man.
But we had 3 different Xboxes hooked together, that was the wildest night.
LAN?
We LAN partied.
LAN party, yeah. That's what we got the heck out of that. That's what I'm saying. But we used to do that, and then obviously now, like I said, since we've had our own place, ever since me and the wife have moved out and stuff, and got married, we've done movie marathons. We'll do Halloween get-togethers and do like movie marathons. But that's the progression I've went. But like I said, we still dress up. Like so, we did Billy and Stu last year. 1 year we did dress up as mafia gangsters together. 1 year I was Dean Winchester. I dressed like I had like the jacket.
I had the leather jacket he had.
Nice. See,
I don't remember if I gave it away or sold it, but it was like $130 for something that I'm telling you, everybody, I can't stress this enough. If you're going to buy something off the internet, go to a tailor. Figure out your measurements, because what a large is on the internet, it may say fits up to 300 pounds. Doesn't necessarily mean what you're getting is true. You need to figure out what your measurements are, because
we went with like a jacket that Free had, I think, and then like I shaved and stuff, and then my wife ended up doing like some like blood effects and stuff. And I went as the one that had the Mark of Cain from the Mark of Cain season. She drew the Mark of Cain on me, which was actually really good. It looked legit, really awesome. And I'm trying to remember some of the other ones we did. Man, there was some crazy ones we did that I remember. Well, that's what I'm saying. And then obviously I did the Captain America one. But what I was going to say, one of the ones I do distinctly remember, and I have a video of it somewhere from on my old childhood VHS tapes, a video from my Halloween where I was dressed up as one of the Power Rangers. I can't remember which color Power Ranger I was, but I find it ironic. You was talking about when you was around the same age, you dressed up as a Blue Ranger. And this is before we knew each other, before we was friends.
Well, it was also. Do you remember the masks for that? Like they were that like plasticky. Like if you
Plastic,
accidentally put your finger through it, it would cut it half to pieces.
That was my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, obviously, once I got into like middle school and high school, like I started growing my beard out in my hair.
See, I
and trying to
dressed
color
up
my
as a
hair.
zombie mostly during those time periods.
I did a zombie twice. I went but it wasn't for Halloween. I went as a zombie during the Dead Island, back when Dead Island was a thing. I don't know how old that is now, but Dead Island midnight launch at
That was
GameStop.
such a good game, though.
It was, but I went to the midnight launch for that dressed as a zombie, and then the second time I ever dressed up as a zombie of any kind was in high school when I was in chamber choir. For the homecoming football game. I was never into sports. Like I said, I was a nerdy kid and a theater kid, obviously, chamber choir and stuff. And we were doing the Thriller dance because the homecoming game was going to be around Halloween. So we had rehearsed and was doing the Thriller song and dance for that game, and we all had to dress up as zombies and stuff. So there's pictures out there somewhere of me as zombie and Captain America pictures out there, so I'll try to throw those up sometime soon.
My grandmother that lived in Ohio.
Yes.
When I was younger, I guess that's probably 13-ish, maybe.
Okay.
And my brother was 9. We're 4 years apart, so we dressed up like zombies. And my grandma's neighbor was a news reporter for the newspaper. She actually wrote a whole article and had me and his pictures in it, which was kind of neat. Cool. My grandma kept them forever. My sister may still have them. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
But whenever the newspaper came out, my grandma was like, "Y'all are in the newspaper," because she's from Kentucky, but she lived up in Ohio with my grandpa, obviously. But she never dropped the southern stuff. It was y'all this and I reckon that and yada yada yada. But
that's the way. That's the way my wife is, which Dachi. I mean, but she's originally from like Cincinnati and Ohio is where she grew up a lot, but she also grew up a lot here. They moved here when she was in, I think, high school. But she still has, like, she'll do things that has that kind of Midwest to it. And like a lot of times it's just like we was at the hospital whenever she's giving birth to the baby, and one of the nurses said something, or my wife said something, and she said, my wife said, "Oh yeah," she said, "I'm from up north," and that nurse goes, "Oh, I could tell. Yeah, I kind of figured you wasn't from around here. I could tell." You know,
but she doesn't have our accent because we don't hear like I don't hear you have an accent. I don't hear that I have one, but I know we do because I get tons of people will be like, "You're definitely from the South." I'm like, eh.
Right, and
I am real bad because I do say I reckon, y'all, and not even think about it. A lot. Or like, what's the worst one I say? When I go to say over there, like if I'm talking on a computer, I'll say over there. But when I'm somewhere, I'm like, it's over there.
Over there. Over here. Over here.
Which allow me to tell you, in a video game, the reason I don't do that is because where are we getting shot at? Over there. Where is over there? That is my pet peeve in playing video games. It's like, don't tell me that the enemy is over there. Tell me where this guy is trying to blow my brains out before it happens.
And I will say, I am one of those people
you are the worst.
I know you've gotten on to me for that before. I'll be like, I need help. Like, where you at? I'm over here.
We were playing Halo, and I go to pick him up because I always drove. Like, if you wanted a perfection in a game, and yes, I'm one of those that's got splattered like crazy spree. I think on Halo 3, I had over 3,000 splatters, which is insane.
Yeah.
But I would drive people in Warhogs, and you would end up with a perfection because I wouldn't let you die. Right. You'd have the perfect game. You get no deaths. But the problem is, this guy. Where you at? I'm over here.
Yeah.
Where's over here? I'm just over here. Where?
I'm between that one thing and the other thing.
He's the worst person with directions I think I've ever met.
I'm between the tree and the rock. Yeah.
Which kind of narrowed it down because on Valhalla there was only 4 spots that was like that. He could have been in any of the 4 spots, and I'm sitting here getting riddled with machine gun fire, and there's a Banshee on that map, so help me help you. Help me help you. Like, it's just insane. But it was so much fun, though. Our
At
Halo
least
times
it
were
wasn't. Oh, it's
some of the
classic. I
best.
mean, yeah, Halo is one of those games that'll forever be in my memories, cherished and everything. I got two more things that I wanted to talk about tonight in tonight's episode. Like I said, obviously we're going to be doing three more things. So first thing I will go ahead and say, this isn't. We're going to be doing a lot more spooky stuff this week. We've got plans to do a new series called Heroic Haunts, where we're going to be breaking down supernatural or Halloween or spooky themed comic book characters. Um, which can be from any comic series. We've got plans for like Marvel, DC, Vertigo, all kinds of different comics, and different characters, and we're going to be theming them up. Episode 1, we're hoping to have up here soon. We're going to try to do an episode a day, leading up to like a 2-part finale, which we may even be live streaming. But episode 1 is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and tease it right here. You're hearing it first. It's going to be vampires. We're talking vampires in comics. We're talking Blade, Morbius, Dracula. We're diving into some comic book, pointy fanged, daylight walking or day walking, vampires.
Plasma
We're
sucking through your fingertips, people.
right.
Which was the
So,
creepiest thing to me in Spider-Man, but I'll leave that for the
right,
video.
right. So exactly. So there's a little bit of tease that we're going to be breaking these down, and we may even try to get like a clip or something or like a teaser to put in. But we're gonna be breaking down, going through different series and sections, and we're gonna try to do. It's an 8. I've got planned 8 episodes for at least this first one. If it goes well, we may even do like a Heroic Hunt season 2. But at least for this first season, especially leading up to Halloween this week, we're gonna be doing those. And we also obviously next week's previously on will be the day race. It'll be the 29th. So it'll be right before Halloween. So it'll be perfect spooky, and we'll go all out on that one, do some more spooky topics. But I do have two things I want to talk about tonight before we wrap it up on this episode. First is a shameless plug, other than the one I just did for Hero Haunts. Over on Digital Dachi's YouTube channel, which you can actually find in the recommended channels on here on Not a Sidekick Productions, and I'll even throw a link below. We had a little series called Wallet Crashers with everybody's favorite crazy person, Levi Leather. Now we did do a Halloween episode for Wallet Crashers. It's a lot of fun. We used the green screen, dabbled with the green screen there. Levi Leather was
before I had it figured out better.
Right, but it was fun. Like I said, it was a good like dabbling. Our producer, my wife, you will see in that as dressed as Freddy Krueger and her awesome makeup work. And not me, but Levi Leather was there in full regalia of Green Arrow, Robin Hood type garb. And there may even be an appearance by one certain Digital Dachi wearing a demon mask.
That was Oscar trying to save his brother.
Right, it was Oscar.
But
right,
was, well, you got to remember, Oscar had been in America for a while. He started out as Frederick over in the Queensland, as Levi will surely attest to, even though he hates Oscar now. But Oscar is eccentric, we'll say.
Yeah.
He's a downright hick, I guess some people could say.
He's a lot of fun when you get lost on back roads, I'll tell you that.
Man, like Levi is the brains, and Oscar is the pinky. He is the pinky.
Right, pinky in the brain. Yeah.
Very much so.
I get it. I dig it.
It was. It's been long sought after. I don't understand how Oscar came to be, but we may have to do a Oscar and Levi Halloween special episode at some point. Good God.
Maybe we'll let them do one of the Heroic Hunt episodes.
You think either one of them know anything?
Well, that's what we're going to give them the information. I'm not just going to let them go flying off. I mean, to be fair, Levi's been doing a lot of Ghost Crashers. Maybe it would benefit him to do the Ghost episode of Heroic Hunt. He's hating me.
Oscar's. I don't know if we should let Oscar out, man. He's.
I don't know if we should let Levi out.
Levi ain't been out in a while, and the problem is Oscar.
That's because I have a child now, and I'm purposely keeping Levi up as long as I can.
I'm just saying, Oscar and Levi together, like it's like a babbling brook of
It'll make for good
mediocrity.
TV. Make for good TV. So speaking of good TV, go watch the Halloween episode of Wallet Crashers. Do yourself a favor. Watch all of the Wallet Crashers. And then go watch Ghost Crashers.
I wish we could get into some more Wallet Crashers. I really enjoy that, but it's just so hard to do because we would actually need wallets.
And we're in unfortunately pandemic heaven. Can't find any wallets to crash. Nobody lets you touch the wallets.
Oh, hell no. You keep yourself in there, brother. Don't let Levi out, and I'll keep Oscar put up.
So one last thing before we wrap this episode up, like a nice, beautiful Christmas present. Oh, it's still Halloween.
I hate Christmas. Don't you bring it up.
We're going to win him over. You guys, listen. You guys got to get with me in these comments, okay? And give me some ideas. Give me some movies or some shows, or just give me festive ideas for Christmas. It's getting close, right? Halloween. We got a week till Halloween, and then we got to start on this of cracking Digital Scrooge over here, okay? Digital Scroogey. That's what we're going to call him. You guys got to help me here, okay? You hear this? We've got a work cut out for us, okay? Before we do, not wrapped like a Christmas present. We're going to wrap it up like a nice piece of chocolate or hard candy, whatever your preference is. And that's my last question for the night. And this question is going to go out for all of you guys, but it's also going to go to Dodge. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Reese Cups. I don't even let you finish. Just Reese Cups.
Fair enough. Same. Honestly, I agree.
Reese Cups, to be honest, but any of the specialty Reese Cups.
Yeah, Reese Pumpkins, Reese's Eggs.
Like I know Pepsi Day is quickly approaching us.
No, I can't wait.
But I want to find out what day Reese Day is. And that's immediately to the computer for some research.
I love Reese's, dude. Oh, man.
They're so good. And I've really taken a liking to... Because at my work, we have a refrigeration spot just for Reese's. Like, it's a Reese's refrigerator.
We got a ways to go. But that may be a good thing, because we got to prepare for Pepsi.
Well, I don't want to get diabetes too soon, so...
National Reese Day is May 18th.
Okay. Do that.
4 days after my anniversary.
So, at my store, we have a refrigeration unit. I was just saying this. I'm just repeating for you because I know you're just looking up stuff. And there's Reese cups in there. The big cup Reese's, the king size Reese's that are regular, the king size cup, big cup Reese's. Reese Pieces are in there. Reese Fast Breaks, Reese with the pretzels in it, Reese Sticks, which all the Reese's that you could ever want is in this machine. And what ain't in there, I may or may not go get a couple of and put in there so I can get it on break later, but we'll talk about that because I eat Reese's on almost every break. But I have become very fond of the Reese Sticks after they've been chilled.
I'll have to try that.
Because, I mean, you got that initial crunch from the wafer, but when they're chilled, you've even got the peanut butter a little crunchy.
See, I've not tried that. You'll have to introduce me when I get there.
They're really good. Also, for people that like chocolate milk and peanut butter, Prairie Farms, which I don't know if that's a world thing or not, but if you're in Kentucky, Prairie Farms has a peanut butter chocolate milk. Tastes like a silk liquid Reese Cup.
It is good. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Like, I'm buying it in quarts and drinking the quart a night. So, I'm going to die. But, it's worth it.
Probably. But it will be worth it. I agree. All right. So, everyone down in the comments, tell us your favorite scary movies. Tell us your favorite Halloween or scary costumes, memories. Tell us your favorite candy. Give me some festive ideas for Dachi here, for old Scroogeachi. And
you were reaching real hard with that one.
I was. I felt it. I felt it getting away from me. So, stay tuned. Definitely subscribe. Hit the bell. Tell everybody. We're going to be starting this series soon. Going to be ending with a bang with a live stream, 2-part live stream at the end of the week. Also, we're going to be diving into the new Grounded update this weekend.
I was fixing to say that. Do not miss the new Grounded update because it's redesigned the whole game. We're going to figure out what each character's abilities are. We're gonna figure out what, because there's gonna be light, medium, heavy armor, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a whole new thing. And also, if you haven't checked out New World, you're missing out.
Check out New World. Check out Dachi streaming that over on Twitch every now and then. Yeah, so check all these fun things out. Stay tuned with us here, and as always, enjoy, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.